1 year ago, the Supersize versus Superskinny feeding clinic opened up its doors to 9 Supersizers and 9 Superskinnies, whose dreadful diets were weighing them down. Tonight, we're looking back at 3 of those diet disasters, who were desperate to change, not only for themselves, but for the future of their families. First up, serial meal skipper Josh Evans.
If I could get away with not eating, then yeah, I probably would.
Fast food junkie Louise Hayes.
I love food. If I want to cook it and I want to eat it, that's what I do.
And food phobe Vicky Smith.
I'm just generally not happy. I don't have an appetite at all.
The feeding clinic held emotional journeys for each of its residents.
That's your lunch.
I don't think I can go another couple of hours without any food, and especially just that.
And a trip to America gave Louise a terrifying glimpse into her potential future.
You remember me in the spell, and you remember what you could end up like.
1 year on, have they managed to bin the bad eating habits for good?
Before I was eating because I had to, but now I'm eating because I want to and I'm enjoying food.
One year ago, Supersize Louise and Superskinny Josh checked into the feeding clinic to fix their unhealthy relationships with food.
I love food. If I want to cook it and I want to eat it, that's what I do.
In fact, for Louise, food is a family-sized problem.
I love to have my family round once, maybe twice a week, and I like to cook them 5 or 6 courses.
Yes, you heard right, 5 or 6 courses.
Food in our family is a big part, really. A plate of our food sometimes would feed 4 people.
I tend to eat off big meat plates, as big, you know, double the size of your head. I think food is an addiction. I really need help to get away from the craving of the food. I can't stop eating. I just don't want to be fat anymore.
Louise knows she needs help, and she's come to the right place.
So you're 5'6" tall.
At 21 stone 5 pounds, Louise is 10 stone overweight. Just like her portions, she's double the woman she should be.
Right, Louise, your BMI, which I've worked out at 48.5. Healthy BMI for a woman, about 18.5 BMIs to 25. You're morbidly obese. That means significant risk of illness. I'll give you another 5 to 10 years, OK, before you have serious problems because of your weight.
But Louise's weight and lack of confidence is already impacting on many aspects of her life.
Louise's weight does affect our relationship. At the moment, she doesn't get undressed. I can't be in the same room as her and all that.
In the bedroom with the husband, things are not going so well, are they?
No, they're not.
Tell me why.
I just can't undress in front of him. I can't have sex with him at all. Oh. No.
And you have a son as well?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's 5. He does like takeaways. Because
Age 5?
At age 5. Do you like burgers?
And double burgers.
And what, sorry?
Double burgers.
Double burgers. I would be devastated if Taylor followed in my footsteps. I don't want him to be overweight.
It's going to be tough, but I think now you're in the position where you've just got to go for it, haven't you?
I have.
To break her overeating habit for good, Louise will be swapping diets with a serial undereater, Josh Evans.
People have called me things like lanky, gangly, stretch. People have compared me to skeletons before now.
Josh doesn't own a motorbike or a horse, but finds clothes that bulk up his frame.
It doesn't show the fact that I am a really skinny guy. It will make me look bigger than I actually am.
Josh rarely eats and uses his 20-a-day habit to fill the gaps left by the lack of food.
If I'm hungry and there's no food in the house, say, I would tend to smoke more.
He doesn't eat breakfast. He very, very rarely eats more than once a day.
If I don't have an appetite, I won't eat. And if I don't, I've been known to not have an appetite for anywhere up to 3 days. If I could get away with not eating, then yeah, I probably would.
6'2" tall. 117 pounds.
6'2" Josh weighs just 8 stone 5, a whole 4 stone underweight.
Why do you think you are so light?
Well,
Shall I give you a clue?
what's that?
You don't eat anything.
There's probably a good reason for it.
How long's that been going on for?
21 years, something like that. If I'm hungry, I'll eat, but it's not often that I am hungry.
What time do you tend to go to bed?
About 3 a.m.
Yeah, and so you don't get up until?
About 3 p.m.
3 p.m. So breakfast, lunch, we've missed those, you know. There's no way we can get you kind of eating regular balanced meals with that sort of routine. You smoke as a substitute for a meal. It suppresses your appetite, and that is how you can get through the day on so little food. If you're serious about putting on weight, then you need to be serious about stopping smoking, OK? You're now dreading this, aren't you?
I am.
Absolutely dreading it.
Louise and Josh are polar opposites. It's time Supersize met Superskinny.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I weigh 8 stone 5.
I'm 21.5 stone. Josh being only 8.5 stone was a bit of a shock.
But before they swap diets, it's time to see what they each consume across a week.
Josh, we're going to start with you, and we're going to start with your breakfast. You are kidding me.
No.
Do you always start the morning with a fag, do you?
It's one of the best ones of the day, yeah.
Let's have a look at your actual breakfast. Let's see what you eat.
I don't eat breakfast.
That's better. So by lunchtime, you're obviously quite peckish.
Or maybe not.
How often do you tend to eat lunch in a week?
Maybe 3 times a week, something like that.
Fast food. Cup of soup. It's all saying to me, I don't really want to cook anything.
And for dinner, there were more cigarettes, followed by tiny portions of fajitas, spaghetti bolognese, pizza, and half a tin of sausage and beans, meaning Josh only ate 4 nights out of 7. A guy of Josh's size and age needs 2,500 calories a day. Skipping breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner means on average Josh is consuming just 1,200 calories.
Louise, it's your turn. Bacon, egg, cereal. Oh, gosh. So you would have a full fry-up, essentially, every day of the week?
We're only at breakfast, and already Louise's tube is level with Josh's entire week's worth of food.
All right, let's have a look at lunches now. Nice big cheese-filled baguettes. Crisps. Oh, yes. Takeaway fried chicken. Josh, tell me what you think.
Daunting.
Well, let's go on to dinners. That's a roast dinner with some pâté and some cheese.
Just one dinner.
That is one dinner. How often would this happen, actually?
A couple of times a week.
The roast dinner, about 800 calories. Your starter of pâté, same calorie count. And pudding, another 600 calories. Cheese, another 600, 700, 800, depending how much you eat. Chocolates, do you see where you're just adding in?
But dinners don't stop there. A double portion of chili, burgers, chips and takeaways.
How many days a week would you have takeaways?
Probably every day.
On top of mammoth main meals, Louise is a snack machine.
Sandwich, crisps.
Washing all that down with sugary tea, lager and alcopops means Louise is eating 4,000 calories a day, double the recommended 2,000 calorie intake. Her diet has twice the amount of sugar and 4 times the recommended daily amount of saturated fat. Louise is eating for 2, putting her at risk of high cholesterol, diabetes, stroke and heart disease. It's the first meal of the diet swap, dinner. And it's Louise's twice-weekly 5-courser of bread and pâté, roast dinner, cheese, biscuits and grapes, jam roly-poly and custard, coffee and chocolate, versus Josh's half-tin of bangers and beans.
Apologies.
Why?
Because that's not very much and this is. It is quite daunting to look at.
Josh is still eating the starter, but Louise is finished. Her bowl empty. All Louise can do is watch.
I really don't think I'll be able to finish all of this. Very, very full. It's making me sweat.
Josh finishes the main course, but leaves his 4 other courses and instead has his usual meal-replacing cigarette. But as Josh appeases his addiction, going cold turkey is proving tough for foodaholic Louise.
It's a lot to take in, an awful lot. Just not being able to go to the fridge or go to the... Yeah, it'll be all right. I'm doing it for a reason.
Coming up, Dr. Christian gives Louise a terrifying glimpse into her potential future.
I have to wear a diaper all the time.
And we'll catch up with our diet swappers 1 year on.
My relationship to food has changed, my attitude to eating has changed. I actually enjoy it now.
Food addict Louise and meal skipper Josh have checked into the feeding clinic to conquer their battles with food. It's the morning of day 2, and Louise and Josh are facing the day with trepidation.
I don't think Louise will be happy about how much she has to eat today.
My worst nightmare would be no food at all.
She spoke too soon. Poor Louise gets nothing in exchange for her supersize breakfast fry-up and nothing again for her bumper baguette lunch.
I don't know how you do it. That breakfast properly filled me up.
Josh may be bursting, but after 18 hours without food, Louise is running on empty.
Me not very happy, but hey-ho.
To take their minds off food, Dr. Christian wants Louise and Josh to look through photographs of their past to see if they can pinpoint where their problems with food began.
At what point in your life did you stop eating for 2 or 3 days? Because I just can't get my head around that.
In high school, I wouldn't have breakfast. I'd get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'd make my lunch for school.
So your mum wouldn't make your lunch for you?
No, because of the fact that I wanted independence from an early age, I wouldn't want to put on them.
See, that's a really early age to have to decide yourself when you're going to be eating and what you're going to be eating. You're not helping yourself and you're not letting anybody else help you either.
No.
From that age.
It was quite surreal to look at the timeline of my life and see where this had actually come to, because it had actually started a lot sooner than I thought it had.
Skipping meals at school age sparked Josh's problems. But did Louise's overeating start as young?
These ones were when I was at my slimmest, when I was around 24.
So when did you start to be a little bit worried about your weight?
I was in a relationship with a person that wasn't particularly nice. He used to call me fat and ugly. I was actually on holiday with him there. As you can see that photograph, he's actually been ripped off it. My self-esteem was so low and my confidence was not that much, so I left him and then I started to comfort eat. I think I'd probably put on about 4 stone in a year. Food was my comfort and that's what I'd done. And I believe that it's comforted me all through the rest of my life. Although my life is all right now, I don't think I've ever got over this bit.
An emotional past triggered Louise's overeating, but Dr. Christian's hoping an insight into her possible future might help her stop.
I think you're doing really well thinking about the emotional reasons why you eat. And I've got something that I want you to watch now that I think will just take that a step further.
My name is Karen Ferguson. I'm 56 years old, and I'm 41 stone. Food means everything to me, but it's also been a curse to me. It has gotten me into a nursing rehabilitation home. Because I can't go to the restroom on my own, I have to wear a diaper all the time. Someone changes it several times a day. I can't even reach to wipe myself. I have to get other people to do that for me. I have high blood pressure and diabetes and pulmonary artery disease. The majority of my weight did come on from an abusive relationship. He would tell me how ugly I was and how stupid I was and that nobody else would have me, nobody else would want me, and I believed it. I got a lot of comfort out of the foods I was eating. My children are growing up without me. I have no idea what's going to happen. Louise, I understand that you're going through what I've been going through for years, but you've got a little boy to think about. Start getting this weight off now before it's too late.
Wow.
If I don't do something about it, that'll be me in another few years. I don't want to be like that. I don't want Taylor to come and see me in a nursing home like that.
I'm going to fly you out to America to meet her. I think it's going to be very, very difficult, but so important.
But before she's flown out to Texas, Louise has got to get through the rest of the diet swap. And thanks to Josh's meagre diet, she's now gone without food for 42 hours.
That's your lunch.
I don't think I can go another couple of hours without any food, and especially just that.
So it's sweets versus a chicken burger, chips, Coke, and extra fried chicken.
Alright, so why is it that you're crying?
Why? Why do you think I'm crying? Because my body's just shut. It's just not functioning properly. You've got to start eating properly. You can't live on that. I honestly can't work Josh out at the moment. I don't think it's about him not loving food, because I think he likes food. You eat most things. It's not like you're not eating it, isn't it? Is it? So why have that?
Because that's cheap. And it's
Don't buy a packet of cigarettes then.
We're halfway through the swap, and I don't think Josh realises how serious his fags for food habit is. I need him to realise just what his appalling diet could be doing to his health. Otherwise, there's no point in him being here. So, this is my gallery. Come and have a look at this picture here.
bad teeth.
Have you heard of scurvy?
Yeah.
It was something that sailors got because they used to live off a very limited diet with very little fresh fruit and vegetables. Gums bleed, they swell, teeth fall out, they get very poor, you get horrible sores on your body, your skin becomes very dry and crusted. Deficiency in vitamin C leads to scurvy. You're deficient in vitamin C, but there's an added issue with you. Smokers' requirements of vitamin C, we think, are about double non-smokers' requirements. What's that?
A heart, I think.
Can you see these bits here? They're blackened. That's heart muscle that's been deprived of oxygen and has died. That person died of a heart attack. It's a complete myth that only fat people have cholesterol deposits, blocked arteries and get heart attacks. Super skinny people are just as at risk.
Heart disease is the UK's biggest killer, responsible for 1/4 of premature deaths in men. At risk are the 60% who don't eat their 5 a day, and smokers who are twice as likely to have a heart attack. Guilty of both, Josh could be heading for an early grave.
If I keep going the way that I'm going, I'm going to lose all my teeth and eventually my life. Shit.
Back in the feeding clinic, it's the final meal of the swap.
Do you think that your little boy is now going to learn what you've learned from this through you?
Yeah, I'm going to teach him to cook healthily, not eat so much, great big portions. I mean, sometimes he has one of them plates that big. Saturday I'm going to have a smashing session with all of them. And they're all going out the window. You've devoured it.
Yes. Proud.
I'm proud of you as well. Oh yeah, baby.
Sorry.
And on that glorious note of appreciation from Josh, it's the end of an emotional but successful swap. The following morning, and it's time to say farewell to the feeding clinic. To achieve their goals, Louise and Josh have been given diet plans to follow.
I think I've learned enough to lose weight.
For years I've been in the same routine and it's done me no favours. But even after just a few days, I'm getting up earlier, eating more, and the best thing, I'm smoking far less than I was.
Take care.
Best of luck.
But before Supersize and Superskinny are reunited for their final weigh-in, Dr. Christian's flying Louise out to the States for a terrifying glimpse into what her future could hold, courtesy of 41-stone Texan Karen.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
It's good to see and meet you.
She put on weight for the same reasons that I put on weight. You know, having a bad relationship, comfort eating. I think it's going to be quite an emotional experience.
Karen is mostly bedbound. At 41 stone, she's unable to get up without help.
I just hate laying on my head.
Seeing Karen led in that bed, not being able to get up on her own, not being able to get dressed on her own, or go to the toilet on her own, it was a big shock.
I hope you don't mind doing this. See where it bows out? I have a condition called Charcot foot. Consists of thousands of fractures in my foot that can't be fixed.
Diabetes is a main cause of Charcot foot. Bones weaken and break, and in extreme cases can lead to amputation.
You either live or you give up. I've got to live and see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm only 56 and I'm fixing to have my 5th great-grandchild.
Unable to care for herself independently, Karen's been at the nursing home for 18 months. She only sees family when they can visit her.
Does your family come and see you often?
As often as they can. My daughter maybe once a month, my son maybe twice a month, and then I have a son that never comes.
To get an insight into what life is like for Karen's loved ones, Louise quizzes Karen's daughter, Jerry.
It's hard for me to see Karen as she is in this home, in this environment. And how hard is it for you?
It's very difficult. I mean, I should be able to, go to lunch and, we should be able to go shopping, and we're not able to do that.
I mean, you've got your children and your grandchildren, and obviously Mum's got great-grandchildren. How's it affected them? Do they like coming and visiting Grandma, or...?
Oh, no, they can't stand the smell. They don't like coming here at all.
Me and your mum have been through very similar things with relationships and one thing and another and comfort eating, and she's given me the inspiration, really, to do something about it.
It's awesome. As with her, I don't know how much hope we've got.
You remember me in this bed, and you remember what you can end up like. I want you to stay hard and stay tough. This is like a last chance at, her age and all, for her to get this weight off and live healthfully.
The chip that I had on my shoulder about, past relationships has gone. I'm never going to live where Karen does. Never.
So did the trip to America make a difference? 3 months on, Louise and Josh are back to catch up with Dr. Christian to see how they've got on with their diet plans.
So, Louise, tell me how it's all been going.
Changed my whole life, really.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not exaggerating that, just for me?
Everything about food has changed. Exercise has changed. I don't snack anymore. I don't binge. I just feel so good about everything that I don't need to do it anymore.
But hopefully Taylor is now seeing a different way of eating and hopefully enjoying it as well.
It is, yes.
It's amazing hearing you talking now as a completely different person in a way.
I feel fantastic.
I do feel a bit nervous about coming back, but I am feeling quite optimistic about it.
Tell me how the last few months have been.
I'm actually eating breakfast now.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. But the bigger thing is I am no longer replacing meals with cigarettes. I have completely cut down from 20 to maybe 3 a day.
Really? Honestly?
Honestly.
Good.
I've started cooking for my family as well. So we'd have, like, Mexican nights and Indian nights and things like that.
I wasn't expecting you to have made quite so many changes as you sound like you have done.
This is only the start of what I want to do, what I want to achieve. It really has put me on the right track and it's made me feel so much more positive about everything now.
But before the results are revealed, it's time Supersize and Superskinny were reunited.
Oh, I'm brilliant. How are you? You look beautiful. Look at you.
Break it up now. Stop flirting with me. Come on. So, nice to see each other again.
Indeed.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Yes. He's filled out a bit here.
Do you think you've gained any weight?
I hope so.
You hope
Definitely
so?
hope so.
You've put on 3 pounds. Just think, you keep this up, 6 months, a year, 2 years, what's going to happen to you?
Bigger and better.
I couldn't be prouder of you, actually. I really couldn't. The changes that you have made are just phenomenal. You pleased with them? Yeah? And then you, Louise, what was your target?
Well, a stone would have been nice.
You've lost 3 stone £1. That's about a stone a month that you've managed to lose. Absolutely phenomenal.
I am ecstatic. I've lost 3 stone £1 now, and I intend to lose some more. This is definitely the start of something new.
Today has been absolutely fantastic. I might not have gained the weight that I wanted, but this is just the start of something really, really good.
Coming up, 1 year on, we'll find out if Josh and Louise managed to keep up their healthy eating.
I feel like I look better. I haven't got the fat that I had before.
And we catch up with super skinny Vicky, who was 2 stone underweight when she checked into the feeding clinic.
When I look in the mirror, all I see is skin and bone, no boobs, no bum. I just don't feel like a woman.
One year ago, Supersize Louise and super skinny Josh checked into the feeding clinic. And now it's time to see if they've managed to ditch their disastrous diets for good. Meal dodger Josh used to weigh just 8 stone 5, but now that he's stopped replacing food with cigarettes, life couldn't be more different.
Smoking was my biggest enemy. It just drained me, it really did. Whenever I want to have a cigarette these days, I'll just eat something. It'll take away the craving.
It's no more 48 hours between meals. Josh now makes time for food.
Before I went to the feeding clinic, I was lazy. I'll be honest, I was lazy. Now that I'm a student in university, I actually have a routine. I know what I'm doing day to day. I know what times I need to get up, and I know what time I can eat. I've started eating breakfast, which is a huge thing for me. It might seem small to other people, but to me that's a real big victory.
Right, top and tail of carrot.
New flatmate Mike has taken charge of the cooking at home.
Mike, he's a trained chef, so he's teaching me to cook.
I call him the fattest skinny man I know because he devours plates of food in no time at all.
Tomorrow's lesson, beef Wellington.
Giving up smoking and things like that, I think he's got his taste buds back and he's appreciating his food a lot more now.
My relationship to food has changed, my attitude to eating has changed. I actually enjoy it now.
And all of these changes mean that Josh has gone from an 8 stone 5 pound weakling to a much healthier and happier 9 stone 3 pounds.
I do feel a lot better about myself. I don't think I'd ever go back to the way I would before. I fell into some bad habits. It did me no favours, and I feel 10 times better now than I did then.
Josh's feeding clinic buddy, foodaholic Louise, has also made lasting changes to her life. Gone are the comfort-eating mammoth portions and greasy takeaways.
My whole outlook to food has changed. I love all the healthy stuff. Fruit, which I didn't eat before, because I'd sooner shove a bar of chocolate in my mouth or a packet of crisps. I used to eat and eat and eat, and now I know when to stop.
The big family dinners still take place, but now they're much healthier.
We still have family meals and we still have as much fun, but we just don't eat the excessive amount of food that we ate before. We now have 1 course instead of the 4 or 5 courses. You know, it's better for everybody, really, not just me.
And this healthier diet, combined with exercising 3 times a week, means that Louise has gone on to lose a further 13 pounds, making her total weight loss 4 stone.
I used to struggle to look in the mirror, but now I like to put a face on, to get dressed nice. Just losing a bit of weight has given me that confidence to have my hair cut off. I go out, have my nails done. I have all the things that girls want to do. They're lovely, thank you very much.
Louise is so confident now, she recently did something she hasn't done in years.
For the first time, probably for a long, long time, I've worn just a bikini. I feel like I look better. I haven't got the fat that I had before.
And Louise's newfound confidence hasn't gone unnoticed at home.
Louise is, she just looks fantastic. It's just as if it's a new woman now, really. We get a lot more kisses and cuddles now, so it's great.
I've gone from a size 28 to an 18. Still got a little way to go, but I'll get there.
Mummy looks a lot prettier, a lot thinner, and she's lost a couple of pounds.
Life's just brilliant now. Really good.
Their time in the feeding clinic forced Louise and Josh to change their ways for good. But what about super skinny Vicky Smith?
I'm angry, anxious, upset, worried, any sort of thing like that where I'm just generally not happy. I don't have an appetite at all.
Vicky is a security guard with irregular shifts, and this has left her with irregular eating habits.
I tend to leave a large portion of my meals because of the times I finish work at. It's quite late at night when I'm eating.
But when Vicky is eating, it's not exactly a varied, balanced diet.
I eat toasties near enough every day. Cheese, ham, tomato, cut it into 4 like a child. I always leave the crust. I'm 21 now and want to start a family, so I need to have a healthy relationship with food from starting from now and for the rest of my life. I need to get it fixed.
And the man to fix it for Vicky is Dr. Christian. 5'3" Vicky should weigh between 8 and 9 stone, but at a tiny 6 stone 4, she's 2 stone underweight.
When I look in the mirror, I would see skin and bone. Hate let my hips stick out, no boobs, no bum. I just don't feel like a woman, I just feel like a wee girl.
How has this happened? What are your eating habits like?
I think it started since I got my braces in. I think that's a big part in it.
Because eating was difficult with braces?
Yes, and when I just got the braces in, I was on soup and ice cream and that, things like that for weeks because that's all I could manage.
So you sort of taught yourself how to eat?
Yeah.
Small amounts of food at that stage. But then how does it make you feel? Energy levels and that sort of thing?
I'm always really tired and I don't like to go out much or anything like that because I can't find anything to wear. So it really is affecting my life in a big way.
But Vicky's limited diet could be limiting her chances of becoming a mum.
I've had 2 ectopic pregnancies, which is really unfortunate for me and Chris. It was really upsetting, and I had to get an operation to remove one of my fallopian tubes, and the one remaining is badly scarred, so we were then told that I would have to go for IVF, which I'm currently on the waiting list for and really looking forward to. So it would be good to have the weight on for that as well.
She's lost a wee bit of confidence in herself. If she feels happier with putting on weight, then I'm happy, totally happy with that.
We need to get you eating properly and at a healthy body weight if you want to have good chances of the IVF working and if you're going to carry a healthy baby.
Joining Vicky in the feeding clinic is supersizer Danny Brooke, who at 24 stone 5 is a frightening 15 stone overweight. At 5'8", she should weigh between 9.5 and 10.5 stone. Danny and Vicky's appetites are poles apart, but before finding out how different their diets are, it's time Supersize met Superskinny.
Hello. Hi, I'm Danny.
Lovely to meet you. I was pretty shocked. The size difference between me and Danny is absolutely ridiculous.
To make both women realise how bad their eating habits really are, Dr. Christian wants them to swap diets. But first they need to know what's on the menu this week.
Vicky, we're going to start with you, so let's start with your breakfasts, OK? Wow, that looks like a yummy breakfast. What's that?
Toasty.
Let's have a look. What else? Oh, look. You really like toasties, don't you? Is that all you have for breakfast?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. What else is there to come? Oh, hallelujah. Something slightly different. Looks like a bit of black pudding and a bit of egg. So lunch is going to be more exciting, more varied, more flavourful.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? No, nor do I. Oh, look, what a surprise. More toasties. You're going to grow to love toasties by the end of this. Is eating a pleasure for you?
Not right now, no.
It's not. OK, finally, dinner time. Do you really eat all of that? 2 whole Yorkshire puddings?
Yeah, I enjoy stuff like that a lot more.
So if you enjoy that, why isn't this sort of thing more part of your diet than those relentless toasties?
Because they're not fitting into my lifestyle and I don't know how to fit it into my lifestyle and that's something I need to try and do.
All right, let's see some more. And that looks like a bit of chicken curry and rice. Do you eat the whole lot?
No, I usually leave half.
You're an adult woman in a busy job, and that's your week's worth of food, 3 meals a day.
Is that it?
Are you shocked by that?
I'm really shocked.
And so she should be. The amount recommended for an adult is 2,000 calories a day, but she's taking on just 1,500. That's what doctors advise for a 4-year-old.
Without supplementation, you're at risk of having a problematic pregnancy. OK, so this is vital. We stop this now. Yes? Agreed?
Definitely.
OK, Danny, it's your turn now. Oh, a bit of cake. That's a nice breakfasty thing, isn't it? And what are you spreading on your toast here? Chocolate spread?
Chocolate spread or peanut butter.
There we go, lunches. Lemon meringue pie and a load of chocolate cookies. Wow, and some really big quarter-pounders, 2 of them. What are your dinners like? Curry. Yep, and good old burgers back in there again. Pizza, plus chips.
Yeah. Chili.
2 pasties there and 2 muffins.
When I seen all the food going down Danny's tubes, it's everything that I don't like. Cakes, I hate cakes, pastries, disgusting. Chocolate spreads and that for breakfast, that's sickly.
For somebody of her size to be faced with the amount of food that I eat in one sitting, I don't know how she's going to manage. And that is really frightening.
And without further ado, it's time for the first meal of the diet swap. And for Vicky, that's 2 supersized portions of homemade pork curry, rice, salad and naan bread, washed down with diet cola. Danny's dinner is a chicken tikka ready meal and a glass of full sugar fizzy pop.
I mean, this is a normal sized portion for most people, so I'll be absolutely fine with this.
Normally I would leave half of that, so I hope that's sitting okay with it.
It's not so normal a portion after all, but fair enough, OK.
I'm struggling to get through the first plate, never mind the second.
I guess just try what you can do.
I think eating's like become my second job. It's like a task now.
As Danny stops, Vicky's still got another plateful to go. In this one meal, she's facing as much as she'd normally eat in a couple of days.
I think that's me out. I'm feeling really full and quite sick looking at it.
If somebody is struggling to gain weight, eating half a portion isn't the way forward.
My goal by the end of the week is to finish one of our meals, maybe 2.
With dinner a disaster, Dr. Christian wants Vicky to take a walk down memory lane. We're looking at photographs of her past pinpoint where problems with food began.
This is me at about 11 years old. I ate a lot then and never seemed to gain any weight. And I would snack and I'd eat whatever I wanted. This is round about 18, my little sister here. Started working in security by this point.
Right.
So I was dealing with the funny shifts and my whole eating habits had changed. And this was, unfortunately, took into hospital for an ectopic pregnancy. After I came out of hospital, I think that's something that I've just noticed now. A lot of the weight came off. I wasn't eating as much and just feeling really depressed.
You shouldn't blame yourself for being like this because people go through things differently. You know, I go through emotional turmoil and stuff a cake in my mouth. You go through emotional turmoil and steer away from food as much as you can.
Yeah. When I'm feeling down and upset, I definitely need to try and talk to people a bit more and not just cut out food completely and think about food, and that I do actually need to eat instead of thinking that I'm fine without it.
As day 2 dawns, Danny and Vicky are already feeling the effects of swapping diets.
I know there's going to be a lot of cakes and toast and that involved this morning, which isn't my favourite, so that should be interesting to see how that goes for me.
And she's not wrong, because breakfast is 3 slices of cake and a yoghurt. And for Danny, one of Vicky's favourites, a cheese and ham toastie.
Is it a whole one?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh.
This morning I would probably only have half of that with no crust either.
OK.
It makes me feel sick.
You're struggling, aren't you?
I could never ever eat cake for breakfast.
You're not.
Dr. Christian's concerned that Vicky still doesn't appreciate what her pitiful diet could be doing to her body. So to open her eyes, he's invited her into his very special gallery.
This is something called a stoma. If you have a bowel condition that's so bad, it means we have to remove a portion of your bowel. Sometimes we can't just stitch you all back up again and things work. We have to bring the end of the bowel that's still there out through your abdominal wall. And that's essentially where you pass your faeces through. This is a life-saving operation, but In many cases, it's avoidable. So something as significant as just getting enough fibre in your diet, eating more roughage, can prevent something like that. It's pretty full on, isn't it?
Yep, definitely.
OK, so come and have a look at this one. So this is something called koilonychia, or spoon-shaped nails, and it is a result of having iron deficiency.
My toenails. I've got a couple like that.
OK, so there's already possibly a couple of signs that things might be not so great. The other thing is you want to get pregnant, and so your iron requirements are going to suddenly dramatically increase if you do get pregnant, which I hope you do, and therefore it's vital that you've got enough on board to help a baby develop properly as well.
I'm really, really shocked. I didn't think that I could ever be doing that much damage to myself, so I really need to go home and readdress and put all the things into my diet that I should be having.
It seems Dr. Christian's words of warning have hit home with Vicky. So how will she fare at the final supper? A mountainous homemade calzone with chips.
Definitely will be finishing my meals and need to learn how to snack more and just definitely I think that both of us need to eat a lot more fruit and veg, which is something that we don't do. I'm done.
You've eaten most of the good bit anyway. I mean, if you don't eat chips, you don't eat chips, no big deal, but...
I've had all the inside. It's really nice. Thanks very much.
As Danny and Vicky reach the end of their stay in the feeding clinic, they'll be heading home with individual healthy eating plans.
Take care.
Yep, definitely. Good luck with everything.
Yes.
I've definitely got a different attitude towards food and I appreciate it a lot more after what I've been given this week, so I'm looking forward to just finishing meals and definitely won't be leaving any crust anymore.
It's been 3 months since Superskinny Vicky and Supersize Danny left the feeding clinic, and now they're back to find out how they've got on.
So Vicky, tell me how things have been going.
Things have been going really well with my diet. I'm fitting in a lot more things and trying new things. I'm going really well. The food habits are all gone now. You wouldn't see a crust in sight.
What really turned things around and made you realise that what you were doing was pretty bonkers?
When I seen the pictures that you showed me, that was the real eye-opener for me. I didn't want to give myself any serious health problems, so I started to take things a lot more seriously.
Before Dr. Christian reveals their final results, Danny and Vicky are reunited.
Hello, how are you?
Wonderful.
So do you.
I can see a big difference already.
Can you?
Yeah,
oh, I'm so glad.
Excuse me for interrupting you, but I know you're desperate to know how you've been doing, don't you?
I hope you're going to put me out of my misery.
You have lost?
If I've lost a stone, I'll be ecstatic.
You've lost more than a stone. You've lost 1 stone, 3 pounds. Yeah, fantastic.
Oh,
so really
gosh.
good. Well, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say. So your weight gain currently today is 4 pounds. It's not the world's biggest amount, but it's not nothing either. It means that whatever it is that you've been doing is working and you are gaining weight. Brilliant. I'm happy.
I'm really happy with the results and all I can do is improve on it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and hopefully getting that stone on.
One year on, how has Vicky fared? 12 months ago, she survived on a diet of 1,500 calories a day, leaving her weighing in at just 6 stone 4. Has she managed to finally wave goodbye to the food phobe?
My perception with food has definitely changed a lot in the past year, because basically before I was eating because I had to, but now I'm eating because I want to and I'm enjoying food. I've got a more varied diet and I'm trying to always make sure I eat at certain times and I'm not missing out any important meals of the day. All the changes that I have made have just made things a whole lot better, and I just wish I'd done it ages ago.
Boyfriend Chris is delighted in the changes he's seen in Vicky.
When Vicky was at her lowest weight, I did feel helpless. She's came a long way in a year. I'm really proud of her.
But has Vicky managed to put on the stone she wanted to?
Over the last year and that, I've put on 2 stone, which I'm really proud of. I learnt that food not only determines how you look on the outside, but also how your body works on the inside as well.
And what about the longed-for baby?
I'm pregnant, so I'm thrilled about that. That's been really good news for the both of us.
I think Vicky has broke the bad cycle of eating, because she's eating at the right times of day, she's eating healthy, and of course she's pregnant, which I'm over the moon at.
I really wasn't happy with my body and wasn't feeling really womanly. And now I've got all the curves that I wanted. It's quite nice for me because I've never ever had that before. I'd definitely never look back now. I don't want to be that skinny again. You don't feel really good about yourself. I can't wait basically till the baby's here and just having a happy life together.
If you're over or underweight and would like to appear in the next series of Supersize versus Superskinny, log on to channel4.com/take-part for an application form. Next time, we'll revisit 3 more diet swappers to see if they've managed to fight off their frightful eating habits 1 year on.
Watching him play with the food, I felt like just picking the fork up for him and shoving it down his throat.
You couldn't eat so much. It's just pure greed.
There's never a thought in my mind that I might become the person that I was before.
Brand new series next on 4, and a reminder about how fantastic the human being can be. It's all about discovering the hidden talents of randomly selected people, talents they never even dreamed of possessing. Now you as viewers can take part. There's interactive tests at channel4.com/hidden talent. It's exciting.